everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio Podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Pretty good.
Excellent, excellent. The cocktail of the week this week is called Wicked Behavior.
Ugh.
Bourbon, Aperol, elderflower liqueur, pineapple juice, lemon juice, and honey syrup. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I like elderflower.
Yeah.
Sounds vaguely actually magical or Tolkien-esque. Like it might not be real. I don't think it's real.
We have a bottle of it, though.
Well, I don't think it's really found in nature.
Elderflowers?
Yeah, I think they're just made up. They're fictional. They're in fantasy novels. Elderflowers. There you go.
No.
Like Elder Scrolls.
I don't have anything for Administrative Corner. Do you?
Administrative Corner? No, makes me sad, but I don't.
Okay, then we've got a sort of compressed pod today because we have a kind of compressed schedule today. Let us move on to dog updates.
Yes, let's do that.
You were going back through Chief Brody's records,
yes.
And you found his allergy tests. And would you like to share with us what you found in those allergy tests?
Tests from 2020 say that one of the allergens he tested positive for was green beans.
Green beans!
We were giving him his allergic stuff. Of course, the test was taken before he got his allergy shots that we gave him. So hopefully they worked.
He didn't seem itchy, despite all the green beans.
Or pukey.
Yeah.
Or whatever it might have done to him. No, he didn't. And this is one of those mild things, right? Where it was like slightly above the norm, but not super elevated. I think it was a 14, and then like ragweed was a 250 or something. So the scale goes way higher than green beans.
Green beans.
Poor little guy. I was giving him green beans. Yeah.
Yeah.
He loved them though.
He sure did.
But then then he was pretty much eating broccoli with everyone else because it got hard to do green beans and broccoli for everyone.
Look, that dude almost made it to 15, and so we clearly did not shorten his life with the green beans.
He almost did. We just got a birthday card for him from Chewy.
We also...
Thanks, Chewy.
You were updating the Chewy account and finally removed St. Patrick, and they sent us a little memorial stone for St. Patrick, which is very nice, but we were just a little late in letting them know.
He would have been like 20.
Yeah. The Swizz, longtime listeners of the podcast will remember the teeny tiny dog named the Swizzle.
Yes.
Who we got in 2019 and who died in 2020. She was 14 when we got her. But she just had her birthday and she would have been 20.
Yeah. She had every indication of living forever when we got her. She just seemed like this little tough dog.
Yep.
But she did not.
She was about the same size as Feta.
Yeah.
But her owner had, I think, dementia, right? She hadn't died, but the owner went into a care facility, and there were 2 dogs, and then the family didn't want the dogs, so they would just once a week dump a bunch of food in the house and leave them there. And so she was 25 pounds.
It was terrible.
When they rescued her.
And she was 50 normally, or 55. Yeah,
55.
It was absurd. It was absolutely understandable why she had food anxiety.
So much anxiety.
Yeah.
She was a good dog, though.
She was a good dog. She was full on deaf, though.
Was she?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
You didn't have to worry about thunder or anything with her.
Anyway, okay, old dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any normal updates. Everyone is doing fine.
Everyone's doing fine. I feel like I had another dog update, but...
we had the dog sitter here the other day, and everyone seemed to still be here on the way back when she came back, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, this is local GR dog sitter, not travel GR dog sitter who comes for our longer stuff.
Correct. So we didn't get a lot of videos out of it either.
Oh, here's the other update I had.
Okay.
We did actually... I'll distract myself back. Local GR dog sitter does sometimes send videos, not as many as Lainey does, who's long-term dog sitter and friend of the squad. But if you are a Patreon, you get to see the videos from the local dog sitter. I post them up there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't see him. I guess I should subscribe to the Patreon.
You do subscribe to the Patreon.
Oh, yeah, I do. Never mind.
There's also, this is funny. So you recorded the secret podcast that I don't know about while I was gone.
That's right. Allegedly. You don't know.
I have had a request to talk about what I did while I was gone, which I maybe will in ramblings. But you talked about a thing that is exclusive to the Patreons quite extensively in that podcast, and I edited it out.
Well, so I don't even know because
right.
It was a secret.
It was so secret.
Oh, my goodness.
So if you're a Patreon, you also get access to those secrets that eventually everyone will get access to. Anyway, the other dog update that I remembered and then forgot and then remembered again is that I have taught the Nugget how to do the fist bump, Hopper style fist bump.
Bump me.
Bump it.
Yeah.
Stick that fist out there. It took like 2 days, and she's so proud of herself. She loves doing it.
That's true. You don't even give her treats every time. She just likes
Rarely.
it. She likes knowing how to do it.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Let me teach her some more tricks.
I'm impressed. Why don't you teach her to come on command and
she comes pretty well for me.
Oh, my God.
I might teach her to like play dead.
Why don't you teach her to shut her sister up when when Zola is barking?
Look, one thing
Why
at a time.
don't you teach her to get Feta to be nicer? Why don't you teach her not to chew on Feta?
Listen.
Bump me. It seems very unuseful.
It's extremely cute.
It is very cute. Makes her very happy. Makes you very happy. That has some value right there. Fair enough. I give it all back. I give it up.
Okay. As you said, everybody else is doing fine.
Fine.
What do you have for ramblings? You said you had notes.
There's fine. Yes. I wanted to. This might be Taste of the Keys. Hang on.
Oh, because I have ramblings, so I'm glad you have a Taste of the Keys because I don't.
Oh, ramblings was. I wanted to talk about a reel that I saw about in Norway. They have drunk whisperers. Apparently.
Ah, yes, that's right.
And people may correct me. This may only be, someone saw. There might be one person like this in
one
Norway.
time.
But apparently, they have like these people over 40 who go around the inner city bar areas at night with like these high-vis vests and are basically there to talk down drunk people.
Yep.
Talk down angry drunk people or dumb drunk people. Stop them from doing stupid stuff. And encourage them to walk or take a cab home. And it's a kind of an interesting concept where they're basically just saying, don't you feel tired? Don't you want to go home? And it has to be like someone kind of boring and very patient, and you just don't. You want to defuse and refocus drunk guys who are, I don't know, getting into fights or wandering around breaking stuff.
Do you like this because this would have been people who like several times would have kept you from climbing on top of roofs, for example?
I would have actually gotten really angry and probably hated them if I were drunk and wanted to do so. I had my mind set on something and they're going, seems like you're drunk. And I'd be like, I'm not that drunk.
I really just want to climb on the roof.
Yeah, I don't think they have an easy job. So there must be some element of, I don't know, maybe they have jangly keys and they jingle them and the drunk guy goes, whoa.
Squirt you with a squirt gun in the face.
Yes, like a cat. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So, but I think the alternative is you don't call the cops every time a drunk person's about to do something stupid. You just have these like drunk whisperers who are like, it's not really criminal. It's just annoying and potentially self-harming. So we'll try to fix this. We won't escalate it to the cops.
Is she eating the rug, Ingo?
Depends. Not the top rug, maybe the bottom rug.
Nugget. Ella. Hey.
Yeah, you taught her bump it, but don't eat the rug.
Listen, one thing at a time. Now we know she's trainable.
All right. Is it train of the key?
No, I have a rambling first.
Okay, all right.
I was gone last week, which is why there was no pod last week. Not that there are weeks where I'm not gone because I'm gone all the time. But last week... You're just going to...
That was Ella.
The thing is, like, it rarely picks up well. That one might have.
She tried to bite the microphone.
Yes, she did. It's funny, like Ingo's like, this dog, Ella, is so unruly. She like climbs on top of me. She does all this stuff. And it's like, because she comes over and she's like, hi, Ingo. And he kind of looks at her. And then she crawls up there and he like pets her and like lets her lick his face. And then he's like, I don't know why she thinks it's okay that she climbs on me.
Sometimes I pat my chest. So I think it's up there. It's true. I am the problem. It's me.
Anyway, I was in Archer City, Texas, at the Archer City Writers Workshop last week, which is pretty cool.
Did you see any archers?
There are no archers. Well, I don't know that. Perhaps there are archers there. I think Archer City is named after a dude whose name was Archer.
Oh, really?
Mr. Archer.
I just met a Sam Archer who's from Texas, but I don't think the town was named after him. But
it's anyway. A very, very small town.
Yeah,
population like 1,600, 20 minutes south of the bustling metropolis of Wichita Falls. It's about 2 hours west of Dallas. It is literally a crossroads with a blinky stoplight over the top. And it is home of Larry McMurtry, who wrote Lonesome Dove and Terms of Endearment. He wrote the screenplay for Brokeback Mountain. He is now dead, but like fairly recently.
Mm.
And he decided he was going to make Archer City, Texas, a sort of literary mecca. And he brought his collection of like 300,000 books there, and there were a bunch of bookstores. And after he died, there's now the Larry McMurtry Literary Center, who hosts several writers workshops, but also the one that I was at.
Pretty cool.
It was very cool. I was super productive.
They didn't have 5 dogs in every room?
There was one dog named Twiggy.
That's much less distracting than 5 dogs.
Yes.
The writing process, it is not made easier by 5 golden retrievers.
That is true. We stayed at the hotel called The Spur. And it was across the street from the cafe. There were 2 places to eat, Mern's Cafe or the Dairy Queen. And I was sitting outside Mern's Cafe one afternoon, and I heard this sound, and I was like, God, I know that sound, but at the same time, I don't think I've ever heard it in person. Like, it is a sound I've only heard in movies.
Oh.
And it was the jangling of spurs, because half a dozen cowboys were coming off a cattle run in the morning, jeans and work boots and friggin' spurs.
That's
and
cool.
Cowboy hats.
Ching, ching, ching.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think because I was in literary mode, I was out doing a writing exercise, and they're like, just sort of observe and write a scene of what happens. And I think I said that the spurs sound like jingle bells that are drunk on whiskey.
Oh, nice.
Thanks.
Nice.
I was pretty proud of that.
Chewing tobacco.
I don't think any of them were chewing tobacco, but they were like the little scene that I wrote, like they all went in, and one guy came right back out and went up to the curb and was like banging his boots on the curb to get the mud off of them. And the waitress opened the door and stuck her head out, and she's like, we've got a boot scraper out here. And like all 3 of us turn and look. And it's like this like honeycomb metal platform, 3 inches off the ground up against the wall, like 4 guys to get the mud off their boots. And he sort of like obediently turns and starts walking over to it. And the waitress goes inside. And then as soon as she's inside, he turns back to the curb and starts like kicking the mud off his boots again. It was extremely Western.
Yeah, that is pretty Texas.
Drove us out into the fields and beds of pickup trucks with coolers of beer.
I don't think you're allowed to ride in the back of pickup trucks.
You are in Archer City, man.
I don't think that's
you
encouraged.
Are in Archer City.
The German in me wants you to have a seatbelt back there.
Yes. No, they just piled us back there with some beer. So anyway, it was great. If you're a sort of mid-career writer, this was a narrative nonfiction, so it was sort of for long-form journalism kind of stuff, the stuff that gets Pulitzer Prizes in feature writing. That's what this kind of stuff is.
Pretty cool.
Or if you want to write a book, like a literary nonfiction book, this would be for that. But they also have writers' workshops for fiction writers and for people who want to write books who are at like all different stages. And so if you're like, what I'd like to do for 4 days is go to kind of the middle of nowhere where my only job is to like write and talk to other people who write sometimes, highly recommend. You can look them up, or you can drop me an email and I'll hook you up with contacts.
Pretty cool.
It was great. I thought, I'm not like a camp person, where it's
not
like,
at all.
Not at all. And I got invited to go to this, and I was like, I should try it.
But it wasn't like cabins.
No. I mean, we were
sharing rooms, whatever. You were treated like adults at least.
Yes. No, it was in the Spur is really a rooming house, right? Like there's no, like you got a room and you had your own bathroom, but there's like no maid service. Like you had to strip your beds at the end and bring your trash out.
That's not a hotel?
No, it was like a rooming house.
Ooh.
I mean, it was fine.
Why don't you just say it's like a bed and breakfast without breakfast? Did it have breakfast?
It did not have.
Then it's not. Then maybe it's an inn.
It was like an inn. Yeah. Yeah. It's just the Spur.
Yeah.
The Spur. Anyway, I was like, this might suck, but it's worth trying, and I'll probably get some stuff done for 4 days. And it was like actually great, and I was super productive, and probably will go back. It was good.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't think the focus was on TV or social media or anything. It was on thinking
TV.
About stuff.
No TV.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is good.
So there will be things that I produce there that will be coming out and will bring to the attention of people, some of which I have told you about, and then one I just found out about today that I don't think I told you about, that I'll tell you about over at dinner.
Tell me. You haven't told the listeners.
No, I'll tell you.
I haven't told the listeners anything.
I'll tell the listeners when that project is out, which I think will be the fall.
As far as the listeners know, you're writing about, I don't know, insects of southern Florida. I just made that up.
I got things to say about that, though. So
yeah, you don't like them. Generally, you could do without them.
You're correct.
You're on the side of the geckos on that one.
I will say that one of my friends who I knew from Harvard, who also came to this workshop, has started a magazine, print only. Their first issue will be out in the fall. It's called Geezer, and it is for sort of people over 50 who, like, if they receive something from AARP, burn it in anger.
Like reluctantly aging.
Yes. Like
ungracefully aging.
The cover of their magazine is like someone with, like, painted nails and like holding up a like rock on sign, and it says kick ass in your second half. So it is for people a little bit older than me.
That doesn't rhyme. Kick
ass in your second half. I don't think it's supposed to rhyme. I think it's supposed to be like, just because you're over 50 like doesn't mean you're an AARP crowd. It's for Gen Xers is really what it's for. It is a magazine for Gen Xers.
I'm a Gen Xer.
You are.
Yeah.
You would be part of the target audience.
I would. I like that is also kind of Gen X-y to make it all paper only. It's like, that's the way it used to be. I was just at my college reunion and we talked a lot about, we didn't have Google back then, and we didn't have cell phones, and we didn't have this and we didn't have that. So obviously we had to do it this way, and obviously we had no idea where anyone else was. Yeah. Is it only for women?
No. This happens to be the hand of the woman who started.
I mean, I think it reads female.
Well, that's just because there's like a woman's hand on the front.
I don't know that it's a woman's hand. It could be a dude's hand.
Looks pretty feminine to me.
Fair.
No, it is not just for women. Here's like,
because we're not dead yet.
Print only magazine.
All right, I'm in.
So anyway, it's geezermagazine.com if you want to peep it out and subscribe.
It's going to be a bunch of articles about how we are cool and all these newfangled inventions are just not worth it. Yay!
I just want to say that, like, there may be some golden ratio content in the first issue.
What?
We got to sort it all out.
Wow.
But we're talking. So
cool.
Yeah, so if that happens,
bury the lead here.
Well, it's like we're not fully confirmed yet, but there may be.
Make it confirmed.
We are setting up a call to talk about it, because we have old dogs who also kick ass in their second half.
Yes, but they're not Gen X.
I mean, in spirit, some of them are. Like, Guac is fully Gen X in his soul. He's not a millennial. He's not a Gen Z. He's a Gen X.
Not sure. Fair enough. Okay. That's going to be a whole thing now, is which dog is what.
Anyway, if there is golden ratio content in the magazine, y'all will know for sure and can get it. But until then, if you are just a Gen Xer, which I know is not most of our audience is younger than that. But if you are a Gen Xer, check it out.
Yeah, I think we have a good representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. That came out of there.
That's good. So Geezer.
Geezer.
Like the band, but with a G.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know what a geezer is.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Time for Taste of the Keys, which you say you have covered.
I have a Taste of the Keys, just a note that one of the articles in our Conch Life distribution is, hey, it's Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week. Which is so like niche and also not something that everyone celebrates. Probably even code enforcement officers going around checking out whether people are living in their ground level spaces or not, or do they have the fire escapes, or do they have enough, I don't know, fire detectors, smoke detectors? What other codes are there? Maybe on construction sites.
Yeah.
I know they're not enforcing codes on construction sites. There's not a construction helmet around. There are no steel-toed boots.
Flip-flops.
There are no regulations being followed. Safety.
OSHA does not exist in the Conch Republic.
I think that is absolutely correct. Remembering the guys who were building our dock, it was a OSHA-free zone. They got it done.
They did a great job.
I don't think anyone got hurt, although people might have hurt themselves. It's not sure.
Look, don't narc on the people building our dock.
I mean, there could have been back problems.
No narking.
Fair enough. Anyway, there was another story that I thought was pretty funny, actually. There's a town called, where there's a beach called Walton Beach. I think it's near DeRay, Florida.
Which is not the Keys.
And they have the Billy Bowlegs Festival every year. Billy Bowlegs is a pirate.
Okay.
And as part of this festival, there's going to be a mock battle that features some of the Ranger battalion that is stationed there. And they zip around in, I don't know, Zodiacs or landing boats or whatever.
Yeah.
And that festival was going to be in the evening, or that mock battle. They battled the pirate.
Yes.
Billy Bowlegs.
Yeah.
And they were zipping around earlier during the day, these Ranger trainees, and were bristling with guns, and came upon Crab Island, which is like a sandbank area, and everyone was in the water and stuff, and they were shooting machine guns at them. Now, they knew they had blanks, but the people in the water did not know they were blanks. And so a ton of people called 911 and were like ducking under the water and freaking out because these boats with machine guns were shooting at them. Now, they say they were just shooting in the air, but what difference does it make?
Still would be terrifying.
When you're, no kidding. It's Florida and people have real guns. So these Rangers are suspended pending an investigation into what the heck they were doing.
What the fuck, you guys?
Yeah, Crab Island.
Jeez.
So there you go. So come on, guys.
Yeah.
I know you're 22 and full of testosterone and you have blanks, but that's a good way to scare a bunch of families who are just like sitting around, enjoying a sandbank or a beach, whatever it is.
Given the events of the last week or two, do you feel like men are maybe too emotional to be in positions of power?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's right. I think men should have a psychological screening or mandatory therapy if they're going to be in positions of power.
I like it.
They need to deal with themselves before they can deal with others.
What's the German word of the week?
Langfinger.
Long finger.
Yes.
What's it mean?
Thief.
Ooh. I like if I just
kleptomaniac.
stick my long little finger in like.
So like long fingers, like, pickpockets and, people who like use their long fingers to steal stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. Not burglars, right? Not like violent criminals. This is more like the sneaky, stealing, shoplifty Langfinger.
I like it. Oh, it's good. It sounds a little sinister too.
It does. It does sound like, Who was that Babadook.
Babadook.
Duk Langfinger.
Yeah, Longfinger would be a good horror movie character name.
There's Long Legs, I think.
Long Legs movie, yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Longfinger. It's like the Slenderman.
Yes, that's what it is. It's like the Slenderman. Yep.
All right. It's time for Ingo Corner. I will just let you know that we got to go pretty soon. So I'm not going to tell you that it's boring, but I am eventually going to tell you that we have to feed the dogs.
Nope, I have no further comments to this Zoom call.
Thanks, everyone, for tolerating our short podcast. Next week, we will podcast, and I will be in the UK.
It was packed, though. Dense.
It was. So
high value. You get more than what you pay for.
That is definitely true on this podcast. Oh, my God. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening. And until next time, Slava Ukraini. And don't put anyone unless they ask you to.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.